back, was in Pickle, Ohio, and Bruce Ryan was in the band
All right, this time we'll go ahead and get the meeting started. Please rise for the pledge of allegiance. I
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right, thank you. Secretary is not able to join the meeting with us today, so we'll have to bypass the review of the previous meeting minutes until the next meeting. We'll move on to Township financial review. Started doing this a couple meetings ago just for the board for awareness on where we're at financially. So, pass that down for me. Appreciate it. What you're getting right now is the month-end balance sheet for May. And this next one is month-end balance sheet for June. Highlights the funds, how many receipts, what was dispersed, and total cash available at the end of that month. Next is reconciliation for our bank account that has the donations for the park. These are the restricted donations. There's been zero activity in this all year, so I just printed off the end of May, which reflects current balance. I'm sorry, what I just sent you is the reconciliation for our main account for the end of May. So that's our main account where everything comes out of. Mm-hmm. I apologize for that. This next one I'm handing you is reconciliation for the end of June. I don't expect you to go through every single line, but if you want to take a look at it real quick, let me know if you have any questions. You can even contact me afterwards if you have any questions on this. And then the donations account is this here. There's $760 in that account. And again, this hasn't been touched in a long time.
This is park donation.
Yes, park donations is what I was saying. The reconciliation packets I sent you gives you the details on what went out, but I'd like to highlight a couple things. First is the month-end balance sheet for May. You take a quick look at that. What you'll see there is a couple large disbursements, and I want to highlight for the board what those are. You remember we approved additional appropriation for a fire truck. That's what you're seeing there. So in the Township Fire and EMS Fund, what you see there's a combination of payroll and also the partial payment for the truck. The other balance for the truck came out of the CUME fund, which you see that $39,000 come out of that. So the two of those combined equals the truck that was purchased. So that I want you to understand what those large sums were for that. And other than that, everything else in June is a pretty standard. Township Fire and EMS is just payroll. That's out of that. And then we have the utilities and stuff coming out of the township and for mowing as well coming out of it. So again, just the two large ones came out there in May, and that's for the fire truck. So any questions on that, please let me know.
It's good to me. And obviously, if I see anything, I'll let you know.
Yeah, please reach out and let me know. If you do, just shoot an email to the whole group so we can all see it at the same time. Erica, any questions?
Nope.
All right, move on to the 2027 budget discussion. We're not ready for budget decisions quite yet, but I want to make you aware that come our next board meeting, we will be reviewing the capital improvement plan. That was, we initially kicked it off last year. We'll be reviewing that and looking for approval at the next meeting. I will send that out ahead of time because that's still fairly new for us, and we just want to make sure that you have clarity on that. And then we'll review the budget. I'll be meeting with the DLGF to go over the budget for next year. It's a little tricky just because the fire district now will no longer need the fire and EMS fund and the CUME fund. So I'll be working with the DLGF on that, on what that budget looks like for next year. A couple things for consideration for you to think about in the meantime is salaries for the board and also the mowing contracts that will be discussed at the next meeting. So I will send that information out prior to just for your review, and we can have a discussion at the meeting. So that's coming up here. And I've got some meetings here in July and August. We'll be making decisions here in early September. Any questions on the budget? Concerns?
Like you see other thing that you saw, budget.
Budget and capital improvement plan. All right, next on the list is just a new fire truck update. The truck has been delivered. The truck is really nice looking truck. It's currently, I believe, still over at the Rosine Farm where it's safe and sound. Next up, we've got it decaled already, so the lettering's already done on it. And next up is the new lighting that we purchased for it, so that'll be installed along with new radio chargers for inside so that we can put our radios in there. So I expect that to hopefully be ready to be put in service here before the end of the month, as long as the scheduling for the light installation still stays on track. So we're looking to get that back here, trained, and in service as soon as we can. And then we'll be looking at selling the current battery. Todd, and you're in the fire department. Any, Janelle, both of you both have any thoughts on the new grass road?
See that on Saturday. It's good. I think it'll be okay.
It definitely looked like it had the space that I know you guys had talked about, wanting it to be able to hold multiple people.
That and like behind the cab, there's like 2 places where people can stand. It's put on fire. We're not the old one. We're just sitting on the back of the rail. So it's not little thing.
Yeah. Great.
All right, next up, we'll give a quick update on the Allen County Fire and EMS District. Currently, there are interviews being conducted on a lot of the officer positions for the district. And this Friday, the commissioners will be voting a historic vote really on the creation of the fire district. So at 10 o'clock this Friday, if anyone's available, head on down to the commissioner's house, not their house, but downstairs for their citizen square, yep, for the meeting down in the basement. So that's happening at 10 o'clock this Friday, and there's going to be a lot of things happening over the next month as far as decisions being made and people being put in positions, and nothing becomes official really until January 1st, but there's a lot of work that has to happen, of course, before that happens. And so there's key people being put in some positions here to be able to get them ready to go for the kickoff on January 1st. A lot of discussions going on, making sure that we've got enough support out here, and I feel very confident that we are going to have the support we need 24 hours a day out here, including a very robust paramedic support that we'll have. So looking forward more to that. I'll be able to speak more to that in the next meeting because a lot of things have happened after today. Questions in the district?
Thanks for the update.
But they figure out when I was sleeping.
Still working on that. There's a lot of different entities that have to get into agreement to be able to do anything for here. So what's that?
Tina.
Yeah, so there's looking at options, looking at what we can and can't do. So think that'll be, discussion. Thanks for asking the question. Next Thursday, the 16th, I believe. Check me, make sure I'm right. Is that right? The 16th, Chief Bush will be out here with other members of the district chairs and fire chiefs. Will be coming out to visit the volunteers. The board's invited to that. It'll be out here at 6 o'clock, I believe it is, 6 o'clock, for a meeting with Chief Bush. The topic is going to be the volunteers and the structure, creating the structure for the volunteer service within the district. So answering questions that volunteers have, as well as discussing what that might look like in the new district. So those will be the beginning of the formal talks when it comes to volunteer involvement in the district. So I'd love to be able to have you there. If you guys can make it, it's the 16th, 6 o'clock, right here. All right, we'll move on to Cemetery Association. So just a reminder, we got a new association still in the works, being created to be official 501c3, but we've got a lot of work going on right now. So I invited the chair of the association, Janelle Kahneman, to kind of give an update to the board, let you guys know where things are at and what's been happening here recently. If you can talk loud, that'd be great.
I'll try.
Yeah.
So we've been meeting on Monday nights around 6 o'clock weekly, weather permitting. We've removed some overgrown vegetation. We're going to continue to work on that. There's some yucca plants that we wanted to get out of there, and like some tree stumps that we need to get ground down to ground level, if not a little bit below, so that it decompose underneath. And so far we've uncovered about 20 stones. These stones were under the ground, not visible. So we're just starting. So we haven't even scratched the surface, but it's exciting to see what else we might uncover. We're continuing to probe, which is a tedious task. We're probing about every foot by every foot in a grid pattern. So we're working on that. Like Brian said, we're working on setting up the 501c3. So we're trying to get some bylaws set up and meet the requirements that are needed to get that going. And then once we get the 501c3 set up, we want to work on fundraising and whatnot so we can get some supplies to clean the stones, repair them, maybe possibly look at maybe ground penetrating radar so that we don't have to keep probing. But that's an extremely expensive process. So we're looking at setting up some subcommittees to break up the tasks. There's a lot of different things that need to be done at the cemetery, and then if we can break it up so it's not all on one person, that's what we're trying to accomplish. And then we also have a Facebook account set up that posting things started. Right now we're just at the Maslin Evangelical Lutheran Cemetery, and then eventually we'll move over to West Valley, but trying to accomplish what we
Start somewhere.
Yep.
Other than that one, that.
Thanks, Janelle. Any questions for Janelle?
No, I'm assuming with fundraising, we're going to possibly think about grants too then.
Yes.
Figured.
Yeah, and that's another reason we want the 501c.
Absolutely.
Because usually have to have that to
Upgrades. Yes. Great. 20 stones. That's cool.
It's been really exciting. We just find bits and pieces. It's kind of like the archaeological thing.
Right.
Trying to piece different things together because things didn't stay where they fell. They got moved and whatnot. So it's just, I don't know, it's been fun for us to find what we're finding and try and figure things out, piece things together. So we have a good group. We seem to work well together. And we all really have fun doing it.
Great opportunity for us to, really show the community that we're honoring the past who have been before us. And so I think that's really cool that, I mean, it stinks that they were under for so long, but it's exciting that we are making it right going forward. So thank you for your work on that.
And we essentially, want to bring out some of the stories of people that are there. Like one stone that we found that was completely underground was just a 12-year-old girl, and that's just kind of heartbreaking. So it's just kind of, heartwarming to think that some parent out there, is probably, but ancestors would like to know
That's where
that,
they lay
their
to rest.
ancestors,
Great.
There are founders, whatnot, so we definitely want to learn from their lives.
Awesome. And I think that helps tell a story to the community when we start fundraising of
Yes.
what the goals are. So, great.
Yeah, so if anyone wants to volunteer and help, please reach out to the township. You can also find the Facebook page for the association. Just type in Madison Township Eternal Rest Association. For anyone listening or watching this video later on, if you'd like to help out, it's a great opportunity to volunteer in your own time. Good schedule that Janelle and the team puts together to go out and do some probing and find some of these stones. I'll tell you one of the most heartwarming moments, and I've been there a few times to watch this team work, is to watch them hit something as they're probing and slowly take care of the soil and remove it and find a stone. And the moment that they turn it over, it's everyone kind of just holds their breath because you're recognizing somebody that's been lost for quite a long time. So it's really neat to see that. So I appreciate the efforts they've been doing. Just a reminder to the board that the activities that the association does fall underneath the umbrella of the township. So even though the financials and the funds and stuff is going to be with the association, the plans, the activity that happens there has to be governed through the township just for awareness. So what we don't want is them building a large shed on top of, so we need to know what's happening there. And I think they're doing a good job. So thank you for that. In addition to cemeteries, I wanted to give a quick update on some breaking news here recently. So I'll try to condense down, long story short. AEP is coming through and replacing high tension power lines just east of town. And they reached out to the township and said, hey, we'd like to get an easement on your property there as we're doing the work. Initially said no, because I don't believe putting an easement on the cemetery is appropriate. And we soon found out that there was we weren't on the same page when it comes to understanding what the property lines were at, to put it lightly. AEP said that our property went farther east than what we assumed it has been all these years. And when we say the property lines are, is just that rectangular shape that's mowed every year. And looking at some old deeds, it became very clear that our property lines for that property for the, make sure I say the name right, United Presbyterian Church of Pleasant Valley, shows that it is definitely much bigger than what we assumed it was. In fact, it's about twice the size. So, you got that? You have this. What I'm sending you is the survey. We couldn't afford to do the survey. It was too much for us at the moment to determine where it was at. AEP graciously offered to pay for the survey for the township. So what you have in your hands is the official survey of that property. If you look on this page here, the very first page, you'll see in this a little rectangular shape, that's the current area. And then you can see where the new property lines are in the bold line. Just a little bit over 1.1 acres is what has been surveyed off. The Rosine family went out there and marked it off, so you can drive past so you can actually see where the property lines are at. Next couple pages, you'll see where they have the easement. It's just a very, very small sliver of that property. And I had the footage. I don't know the footage off the top of my head, but it's a very small amount that is on the far east side of that property line, right in the middle of the field. So AP has a document that we agreed to that they will not be putting any permanent structures, equipment, supplies, anything in that easement. They just need to have that available in case something had happened with the power lines. They could get in and work on those. There is in the agreement, any damage done to the property, they will repair. I feel very comfortable. This is so far away from the cemetery that there's no concerns there, but it does raise the question of missing property, land that has been really unknown to the township for approximately 125 years. So we've got some work to do. And I think what that means is we need to ensure that the cemetery doesn't expand farther than the current boundaries that's being known. That's the concern. Talked to the property owners of that field, and they have been more than willing and happy to help us work through this, because they were under the impression this was their property, and there was a no survey sale of the farm, so the property lines were unknown. And really, before the current owners, it was just passed down the same family, generation after generation, so there was no surveys ever done. So I think our next step, and we're talking to the association about this, is to see what we can do to rest our minds that, again, the cemetery doesn't expand beyond the current mode property lines. So I wanted the board to have this for awareness of what this is. We're going to have to make a decision at some point in time of what we're going to do with this property. So that'll be a discussion for a later date. But we do have a little bit of work ahead of us. So any questions on this? I know it's kind of brand new and fresh in your mind. Got any more questions? Or got any questions at any time? Always feel free to reach out.
Was there a church originally off of that lot there too?
Yeah, there was a church close to Adair Road on it would be the southeast corner of the current Mode Cemetery, just off into the field, which would make sense in this new. I know. We think I'd have something like that. Where it says edge of tilled field, and right below that says northerly right of way line. Right between those two arrows is where the church apparently sat.
The old line is the actual border.
Correct.
Where the original, on the inside there, that line is what we thought it was.
Yeah, that's what it currently is. It's mode.
Wow, that's quite a bit. It says it's 11, 1.137 acres.
Yep.
That's
Yeah, the farmers over the years didn't know.
well, I know it's there's no zines on that.
No.
Before that, on the side, they always kept trying to go. So at least
the
now,
good-
yeah, at least now it's no.
Yep, we know we're going to do something about it, and make sure we can verify that, again, the cemetery itself is within the boundaries of the mode. That mode area is elevated up probably a good 3 feet from the field, so it is elevated.
But they don't
it's
think the cemetery is any bigger than what they're working on now, right?
No, I don't believe it is.
Sounds like maybe the church itself or property.
Yeah. They just recently,
Somebody had donated.
there's been a lot of farming over the years out there. don't want to make assumptions, so we need to, now that we have this information, next step is to do our due diligence and see what we can understand beyond the current understood property line. So
Is that area being ours this year? The area, the new survey area?
So when we found this out, it was right near planting time.
Right.
And so I advised the farmers to just go ahead and plant because we wasn't sure yet. Looks like from just recently that maybe that didn't happen because in that area is pretty much tall weeds. It hasn't been sprayed. It doesn't look like it's been worked up. So
So I know that they did some work in that area, so I don't want them to be out any expenses. So I didn't know like there was title insurance that could be recouped for that, designated with some lost income.
From my understanding, we're okay with whatever happens, and none of us have hard feelings of it would cost us any amount of income that we would be worried about. We want to do the right thing from the cemetery, is my understanding from the family. So,
And we want to do the right thing.
right, of course, both ways,
Yeah,
but we're,
I just want to make sure you guys are taking care of it as well. And
So that kind of falls under the umbrella of we got some work to do. So that's one of the steps is to discuss this, what to do next, because they recently tiled that area. So there's cost associated with that. So yeah, we want to make it right. But like I said, they've been really gracious in working with us during this process. So,
we appreciate that as well.
thoughts, questions? Move on to Township Park Development. Just got a quick update on that. We received a grant from the Community Foundation of Fort Wayne. They gave us a grant to help us with a design for the park. And the grant was approved, and we got the ball rolling on that. Contour Design Works is currently working to put together a conceptual plan, kind of sketch out a design. They will then conduct public engagement sessions out here in town to discuss the park. They'll take that information and put together a rendering, full color rendering, take a bird's eye view, a perspective also, all color, digital formatting. We'll be able to share it on social media. And then they'll come back and have another public engagement to discuss what they put together and maybe make any tweaks. And at that point in time, then we will have a official copy of what the park will look like. And there'll be some feedback from the community. So I know this was done previously. That's about a $15,000
right, it's a
job.
huge for you.
So I know this was done previously with some community input, which was great. We got a good foundation on what the community is looking for. But with this grant comes certain things that have to happen, especially for this design. We want to make sure it's officially done. And so that's what this company is coming in to do. Contour Design Works been great to work with. But that would be about a 16-week process from when they get started until we're done. They're really excited.
2 months ago.
Yeah.
And this is all this guy does, is design parks.
Parks.
And nothing against the other one we had, but it was just an architect.
Yeah.
But this guy was going, well, you got to tiling, around electricity, like this, that. So
Help with sustainability of a real park.
what's that?
It's going to help with the sustainability of a real park.
And it's,
Real
so we
people
don't
who do
take
this.
2 steps ahead, 1 step back. So.
And we obviously know from a grant standpoint or any funding standpoint, like that's one of the things they want to see that we did. So this is actually helping us get the ball rolling, I really feel like. And
But,
I'm really excited.
and like I said, I'm kind of excited to get the original and the public come in and get their input, see what they say, see what they want, see what they would like, see seemed too feasible.
Yeah. And they had great experience with things like that, being able to like, okay, we know everyone's going to ask about a splash pad.
Yeah.
And they're like, do you know how many gallons of water it takes to run a splash pad and the cost? And we're like, that's a great thing to point out. So I feel very comfortable with that. And I think their experience of, they have examples of parks they've done close by that people can actually go see and see that they really know what they're doing. It's not just us guessing if we want this to last longer than any of us.
Did they say they do something with the Flossium park over there?
I don't think they
I
did the
remember we
Austin one.
said,
Was it?
was it?
Maybe
Yes.
Leo.
Yes.
I know they
Yeah.
did Promenade Park
Yep.
in Fort Wayne, so
One exciting thing I'm looking forward to is the original park design was done based upon the existing parking lot and sidewalks. This here is going to just take all of that and say, pretend it's not there, get rid of it. What would you want to do with this property?
With lights, like,
Yes. And
what's it, Roy said, you know, got those existing parking out there. Nobody says it has to stay, because he said a lot of times with grants, you're better off starting from scratch. And a better chance of getting money that way than trying to keep something that maybe you don't even need.
right, or that needs a bunch of repair anyway.
Yeah. Yeah.
so that's exciting. So we've got that more to come. Keep an eye out on social media. I will try to do my best to keep updates, especially if we get a date set for community engagement with this organization. I will make sure that it's out there. If you could see it, share it. We'll put on the sign out here. I mean, I'll put it in the newspaper, so go
Like, get it on
Yeah.
the township page.
Yep.
fire department,
All right, that takes care of some of the items on the agenda. Right now, it's open for any new business. I'm really open to the board to bring any new business to discuss.
I don't.
Public comments? All right. If that's it, that will be the conclusion of the meeting. We take a look at our website. You can see when the meetings are scheduled out for the rest of the year. Also, it was also in the newspaper. I'll try to also continue to notify everybody on social media when the meetings occur. Remember this Friday, 10 o'clock, commissioners have that historic vote for the district to make it great. I'll be there. Other than that, be prepared for our next meeting to discuss budget, numbers, all that fun stuff. All right. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. You'll be there?